Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation life energy coach under the sun. Reason why there's no such coaching program like my coaching program, and no coach on planet Earth spends as much time with and on their clients like I do. True story. You have the choice of two packages in order to come into my coaching. The signature package, which we rendezvous 3 times per week, 12 sessions total per month. I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me with this package in order to see results, the shifts that you're looking for, the manifestations. The less frequent package, which contains 7 sessions, via Zoom or via phone call. It's called On the Go package. Okay, so you could still be in my coaching. This is a brand new package. So I was inspired by my clients asking me for a maintenance package, or somebody who is just literally on the go and they're very busy and they cannot accommodate 3 sessions per week, which I personally prefer for many reasons, because I do love to operate with this intensity and with this frequency in order to create the fastest shift in your life. In my coaching, we go through everything starting with your childhood, adolescence, college years, etc., all the way up until now, because I want to be able to examine your beliefs to really understand what's going on and why you're having issues. And only then I teach you everything that I could possibly teach you about manifestation and what has worked for me so very well for many years and for hundreds of my clients, okay, if not thousands, because this is the real deal coaching that was created by me during the last 9 years that I've been a coach. It's infallible, it's complete, and it has the energy coaching, the magic spells and the energy work that I created myself with the help of the knowledge that I also received from my grandma, who was very much into magic spells. But what magic spells really are is energy work, okay? Really just being intellectual as far as your energy goes. Intelligent as far as that, I should say. So again, I recommend 2 to 3 months with the signature package. Now, if you see here someone copying the way that I speak, and the way that my coaching program is, it's a scam, okay? Down to the very pricing, sounds very similar, and with the promise of revolutionizing your life, it's a scam. This is not my coaching program. This is something else. And I've had several clients now in my coaching who fell for this scam. Don't fall for the scam of a copycat. I think this needs to be said because I no longer want to be confused with anybody. I created this program, I created my pricing, and I created everything that I'm talking about, that I'm, that I'm writing, and my channeled work, all of this. This is my own, and if anybody else, and it's copyright protected, and if anybody else speaks like this and copies my coaching program, understand that this is a crime. It's against the law, and so I would not trust a person like that with my personal information for shit. Just saying. I'm just looking out for the people that, I needed to recover them in my coaching and really set them on track, and my heart breaks for people who spend thousands of dollars on something that's actually a scam. All the information from me is below. If you have any questions before booking, please email me directly. Otherwise, just book, sign the coaching agreement, and let me know when is your earliest availability to schedule a first session. So I was really inspired to record this for several reasons. Sorry, the subject of today is energetic intelligence is your superpower. Okay, so I talk a lot about energy on this channel because it truly is your superpower above all superpowers. And this is something, again, I don't see anybody talk about. I really, really don't. It's very kind of like well known that the number one kind of belief out there is that if you affirm your desires to death, then somehow they come true. So I want to tell you this is so far from the truth, which is why I started this channel, which is why I'm so irritated against people who pretend to be coaches. And if I can kind of touch your heart in this audio, and make you understand that it's a lot simpler, it may be a little more time consuming. Not years, mind you, but it will definitely work in everybody's case, provided you will be embracing this process with open arms. So a lot of you know my story. So this will be a little story time first, and then I'll explain. A lot of you know my story. In my late 20s, I finally got out of a relationship that was really, really toxic, really abusive, really destructive. It was the most horrible time of my life. And yet I stayed for like 4 years, I think 3.5 years. And when I finally had the courage to leave, I ended up, basically the reason I left is because I had this inspiration to start sewing, and that gave me courage. This energy gave me courage to believe in myself and everything that I am, and that I'm not this like failure who chose to be, because it's really shameful. You know, a lot of it is that you're really ashamed of yourself coming out of these relationships, and it's very hard to believe that anything good will ever happen to you. But luckily for me, okay, with the universal and God's blessing, however you want to say it, my angels were really looking out for me, and inspired me to create, I mean, literal magic, okay? Things that I did not know that I was capable of. Like, of course, I had some fuck-ups in the beginning, and who doesn't? But eventually it got to a really high level, and now I have, you know, people working for me and this and that, and like I've created every design under the sun, and it's all kind of like bespoke and, you know, really amazing clients. I have a list of like over, I don't know, 200 clients now, and it's just a miracle. This business is what it is. But in the process, right, of becoming this person who's going to be confident now, you know, there was this period of time right after I left. I was not going to go back this time because of all the truth that came out, again, by the grace of God, about this person. And this was like the last straw, as if that was necessary. And I did a lot of like crying, sobbing, like it was literally a detox of all of this energy projected onto me by somebody else. Because he was damaged himself. He was trying to damage me and take away my light. And all of this energy needed to go. But what happened, like, so it was like an intense maybe period of, I don't know, a few months, I would say, you know, like 3 or 4 months, maybe 5, but maybe not. I was just, you know, I was a mess, even though there was nothing to be, you know, like I wasn't missing him. It wasn't that. It was just the whole realization of me being a completely different person, and how ugly all of this was, that I was, you know, kind of like put in a position to put up, or just chose to put up, right? And not having enough strength. But with that, though, is what I'm doing in my coaching. Like, by facing all of this darkness, I was able to purge it. Like, purge it is the word. Because it's not crying. It's like sobbing. You know, it's just like coming off of some real toxic poison. And I want you to know that this is what all of you are doing. If you're not seeing your manifestations, you're still with that poison. And even though, you know, for you, it may not have been this intense as it was for me, maybe it's manageable even. Maybe you can go through your day and, you know, still kind of feel okay. But I want you to know that this is not okay. This is so suppressed, you're not even feeling what you're supposed to be feeling, which is bliss and joy. For the majority of your day, you really should feel blissful, like 99%, I would say. Is it too high? 95%. Let's work with that. For the majority of the time, you're supposed to really love and adore everything you're doing, who you're doing it with, how you're doing it, blah, blah, blah. Other challenges, other, things to work out, things that, piss you off, or people who piss you off, sure. But on the whole, your life, your energy in your life is so fucking high that essentially any person who's coming into contact with you who's not of that energy will, I don't know what happens. It's just like they not only get repelled, but something happens to them if they try to come against you. This is what started happening for me. It was a complete revolution in my life. It was just completely night and day, because I chose to become more of my own energy, of my own superpower. Somebody who I really am, not somebody who abused the shit out of me and told me that I'm nothing. Okay? No, that is not even the truth for anybody. Okay? So that energy brought about miracles, and the amount of ideas that came to me, during within the first year of doing this process. And mind you, it was all intuitive. I didn't know what the fuck was happening to me, but I finally had no choice but to face the truth. Like, Anna, do you fucking want to, what is this? This is your life right now. This is not what you deserve. This is fucking bullshit is what it fucking is. And I cannot believe I'm finding myself here. This is what kind of my higher self, my inner soul was screaming at me, And so the amount of ideas within the first year of businesses, I started 2 of my businesses that year. Meaning, the women clothing came first, then there was another company a year later. That's more accurate. But the thing was, I was a tornado of ideas. I could not sleep. I was having literal insomnia issues because there were so many ideas, because I really felt I have to make up for all these years. Even 4 years with this person was too fucking much for me. But let's not even get into the people before that, right? So, but this was so intense for me that it woke me the fuck up. Once and for all, wake the fuck up. What are you doing with your life, kind of deal. It was like a slap against my face, kind of deal, because all of that truth was so freaking hideous. It was overwhelming, and it took me months to digest it. That's what it really was. And so essentially I became literally, I could feel it on a molecular level. I always say, I became a different person by purging all of that garbage out of me. And in the human sense, it comes out in tears. Yes, I was trying to watch funny movies all the time, which is why when I got into stand-up and all of that scene, and that was also therapeutic for me, but most importantly, the tears. Because when you cry, and Bashar says this too, when you cry, you really feel purified afterwards, because the chemicals that are associated with your past programming are literally washing themselves out of your system, okay? And so I don't know how to explain this, but a whole freaking dimension opened in my mind. A whole other situation. I thought I was intuitive before. Well, clearly not that well. Didn't use that skill so well. I knew what was happening. I just didn't have the confidence to deal with it in a more proper way. And so this other dimension I'm speaking of is that I really saw what the universe actually was, a completely unlimited stage, and that everything was happening all at once. And I see it so clearly in my head since then. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I see the world very differently since that time, since really realizing myself and connecting energetically to my truth, because to go through a trauma or a drama or whatever is one thing, but realizing why all of that happened and that indeed this person did you wrong, even though it's so self-explanatory sometimes, that, yeah, all right, that was wrong. But did you really like validate that within yourself? That also, for me personally, was to put it into place. Like, yeah, that was fucked up. There's no other way to explain it. This was literally fucked up. It took me years and years. I mean, really very difficult for me. And I understand how it's difficult for other people in my coaching to accept that what my mom did to me in my childhood was, and since, was absolutely horrendous. Like, I couldn't bring myself to say these words because, she's my mom. So how can I say these bad things about her? But it's the truth. But, accepting that really gave me a lot of peace. It's like, now I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I know that this was reality. Can I be grateful then? That's the next step of making peace with it, is being grateful for the experience, because since then I've seen my mom and other people and I can recognize them, and I'm like, oh my God, I can see you like literally 20 miles from here with your toxic crap and bullshit. But literally verbalizing that, like, this was shit. Basically knowing the energy difference between me, who is perfectly fine, and what you're doing over there, which is total crap, is very kind of validating this way. That I didn't cause it. I had nothing to do with it. You're just fucking crazy. Okay? There are people like that. Whatever happened to crazy? So when you stop making yourself wrong and rather look at what actually happened, that's also very peaceful. And you arrive at this really like shining light within you. I don't know how else to say it, which is like so benevolent, so warm, so welcoming, so full of advice, so protective, so loving. Did I mention loving? So harmonious and so full of ideas and support, and always whispers ideas to you. Like, I feel surrounded by this energy today that is like literally guiding me. And even if sometimes, there are things that completely blew my fucking mind, that I got all the signs that it was going to happen. Like, literally, I'm not going to go into specifics just right now, but so many different signs that it was going to happen in exactly the same way that I was asking for the universe to make it happen to me. But nothing on the outside was ever showing me that. And by me just literally developing this trust between the universe and myself, it happened every single time, even though it was actually mind fucking blowing. Things that happened overnight, completely changing realities, basically bringing in the complete improbable, impossible, as people say. But you see, this is what I'm talking about, this dialogue between you and the universe, who is completely unlimited and everything is available and all solutions and this and that. It's right there. It's right there. You just have to understand and see it as being present already. And so if you see what's already present, even in your imagination, and imagination is such a tricky word, by the way, it isn't like you're imagining it on purpose, but you make it visible to you in the invisible, if that makes any sense. Basically, you make it here before it ever was here. You're pretending like it's already happened. You're pretending like this piece of furniture is already in your house. You're pretending like you already live in the house. You're pretending like whatever. But for you, it's so real. It's like it's physically present. I don't know how else to say it. It's not just a session of imagination. It's like you see the world for what it really is. It's not just what meets the eye, as they say, but what's behind the curtain of this 3D. And behind the curtain is like an entire freaking universe full of everything. However you want to imagine. The way I imagine it is that it's a world. It's wide open, and it's kind of like, I see it like a fair almost. And the fair has several stages, and all of it is happening at the same time. And if you feel like switching realities, you can go to another stage and experience something completely different. All you have to do, though, is understand, right, that your authenticity will be the magic with which you get there. What is authenticity again? Because I feel like Some people are confused about that. Authenticity is simply knowing that you are worthy, that you're made of gold, that you are the golden Buddha, that everything is already given to you. It's just what do you allow yourself to have right now? Okay. This is why, parenthesis here, a lot of people just don't know this truth and choose to act out in very, like, really idiotic ways, okay, in the world. That's the difference. Like, some people just choose not to, but some people just choose to. So this knowledge, it has to really come from within, right? So like in the live, like somebody said, oh, you're not humble. And I thought about it, because what's humble? If you're knowing that you're a God, if you're knowing that you're wonderful, if you're knowing that you're beautiful, if you're knowing that you're a good person, where is the humility in denying yourself your God's given gift? That's not humility, that's stupidity. Live your truth, okay? Own up to the fact that you are the golden Buddha. It's already there. Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying to you? It's already there. You're already made of gold. You're already the millionaire, billionaire, whatever, the genius creator that you want to be. Just open yourself up to these possibilities that are already fucking happening. You don't need to lie, steal, and cheat, all right, to get anywhere. You don't need to suffer to get anywhere. You don't need to pay the price, like sacrificing something. No, it's literally like so stupid, all of these ideas. It's just to be yourself, just like the way that you are, the way that you fucking are. Okay, the way that you really are, what you really like, what you really want to do, what you really want to do for a living, who you really want to be with, all of that is completely yours. And I mentioned this in the live that we had on Tuesday, and if you haven't seen it, go watch. This is how you attract effortlessly, because you're in agreement with your true self. And so to embark on this journey of purification is everybody's job, quite frankly. What had happened to me was intuitive and deliberate, in the sense that, of course, I realized I was in a completely dysfunctional cycle, and something had to give. And in fact, I prayed about it, and I really just like was on my knees, true story, and crying, like, just please God, somebody, anything, like, get me out of here, just give me the strength. I was so weak inside. I didn't have any fucking self-esteem. And so if you find yourself in a situation like that today, like, understand on the other side is a whole fucking universe that awaits you. Not even a world, but a universe, like, full of other worlds. It's just unlimited. The person who I am today is so vastly different from that person 15 years ago. It's not even funny. It is not even, look the same, but a completely different person. Completely. And one that I would actually be very proud to have become if I had talked to my previous self. So this is your power. This is your energetic power, to uncover your own energy and then direct that energy. And this is what I teach in coaching, how to do the energy work. It starts with you, though. Your energy needs to be clean first from the drama, trauma, panorama, as I call it, to ultimately affect your manifestations. First, you learn how to do it. And it's, every learning process is a process, right? It sometimes, takes fine-tuning and takes really making sure you follow all the steps, but then you do it just so automatically and so instantaneously. You can do it every single day, and this is what I teach in my coaching. Manifesting with your energy is so fucking simple, is beyond ridiculously simple. Even if you get yourself in a sad mood, we all have these moods, don't worry about it. It's noticing what you're doing, taking accountability for it, and then, like, very gently going to the emotion on purpose at first that you want to create with. But then all of a sudden this emotion overtakes you, and being this manipulator of energy is the highest form of manifestation. And in my Magic and Miracles monthly audios, I discuss this in such depth. It's ridiculous. Really, really, really. The magic spells, all of that manipulation of energy, I really just unpack it and spoon feed it to you, because I feel like, this was one of the kind of thoughts behind creating this package, is that I want to really coach in those audios, and also eventually at some point I will write a book. I gotta tell you though, I looked, and writing a book, not so appealing to me anymore. I mean, what's the to me, I don't know. I'd rather coach somebody, or for them to listen to my audios, and that's a lot more interactive rather than a book. Comment below what you think. I don't know, but it just kind of like, here's a book, and then what? You can read the book, and then what? I don't know. It's a little bit dull for me, this art form. I guess I'm more of a people person that way. Because honestly, like when I receive the emails and texts and the audio messages of like success stories, and by the way, I never ask anybody if they want to like put it. Once or twice I asked, and then I was like, I felt so silly, because you know what? I shouldn't really intrude on somebody's privacy. If somebody wants to, they will publicly comment. That's good enough for me. I feel like what people give me as feedback is the most important thing. And it's those stories that I live for, the way that I affect people, the way that their lives change. Like that for me, is the most fun part. Not writing a book. Gotta tell you, I might change my mind. I don't know. And I promise to make an effort to make more face videos, but this is just my medium. The audio form is just, I'm so in love with it. I've used it for so many years. For like 13 years now, I think. I've discovered this app, and I was just like, this is fantastic. And it has worked for me in various ways in business and in coaching. So, plus, honestly, for this very reason, though, I attract a person who is more about the information. The people who are on my channel and the people who are in my coaching, they're more about the information. They're not about necessarily what I look like. Although, why not? So I gave you the recipe as a general idea. For more in-depth conversation, you will have to come into my coaching. Everybody's individual. Okay, everybody's individual. Don't get this idea that you can watch videos endlessly and you will arrive at some kind of a result. Most likely, nothing will happen. Nothing that stays. I'm just telling you. Okay, I've been doing this long enough. But with a little guidance, or with a lot of guidance in the case of signature package, you will too be able to manifest with your energy and really learn the right way. Don't worry about what you've learned before. Okay, don't worry about any of that. Just be open to new ideas and how things actually work, because it's a lot easier than you actually realize. You don't need to work so much after you understand and learn how to do it. You don't need to, it's effortless. Do you understand? That's the whole idea of manifest. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.